Season 3 Reloaded for Modern Warfare Zombies just went live a few days ago, and I wanted to make a video and show you guys all the best glitches that are still working and some other tips and tricks. They did put out some patch notes, but they didn't talk about any glitches that had gotten patched, and that's because they didn't really patch anything. The first thing I always check is some of the OP weapons, and the Jack Purifier did get nerfed in a recent patch. The only thing they changed is that it takes twice as much ammo to kill the elite bosses like the Megas and Disciples, but it works really well against all the other enemies like the dogs and the zombies. And with this recent update with Season 3 Reloaded, the attachment, the Jack Purifier, is still one of the best things you can bring into the game. Another thing they have not fixed yet, and I'm really surprised, I don't know if they're just not able to do it or they're just not going to do it because the community might have a meltdown, but the solo Tombstone method still works. That's where you activate this portal, run to the bad signal, trigger that, go back to that portal through, run out of the map, close that at the right time, and you'll save your Tombstone. Again, very shocked that this still works, and if the day comes that they decide to patch this, we will still have, hopefully, the duo method where you have to get downed and fully bleed out and get revived. The next glitch that still works, and I can't believe they've never patched this one, it's the mule kick glitch. This allows you to hold 3 weapons, and originally we could hold 8, and they patched it down to where we could just do 3. I don't know why they stopped there. You just find a raid weapon stash, throw down a Molotov, and then interact with the safe right before you completely bleed out. Then get revived, and when you switch weapons, you should have an empty slot. There are multiple things you can do with this empty slot, but the most obvious one is, yes, you can go buy a 3rd weapon. You can also turn your insured weapon into Contraband and stack them up in the menus. Same thing with the empty slot, pick up any weapon. Then you want to go into your menus, and you want to have your insured weapon in the right slot, and then drop the weapon in the left slot, and it will slide your insured weapon from the right slot to the left, and it turns it into Contraband. Then when you exfil, you'll see that your weapon is now Contraband, and you can just unequip it and stack it in the menus, and this one I did it with a Ram 9. The third and final thing you can do with this empty weapon slot is now quad pap the wonder weapons. This one's back. We've had like 5 different ways of doing this, and they kept patching all of them, and this is the after patch to everything. So same thing with this one, you want to throw down a Molotov and interact with the save right before you bleed out, and then get revived, and then switch weapons until you're holding nothing. In this empty slot, you want to pick up a wonder weapon that you want to quad pack-a-punch. You can pick one up off the ground, or you can bring one in. Right here, I brought in the VR11. When the wonder weapon goes into the 3rd slot like that, it strips it of its rarity. You can see on the bottom right there. And the next thing you need to do is have a legendary tool, and you need to equip it to the weapon in your 2nd slot on the right. So make sure you're holding 2 weapons before you start doing this glitch. So right here, I'm going to apply the legendary tool to my weapon on the right, and the next thing I want to do is now switch back to the wonder weapon. And then the final step is you need a juggernaut. So throw down a juggernaut and get into it while holding the wonder weapon out. Once in the juggernaut, you'll let that timer run out, and when you exit the juggernaut, it will put the wonder weapon back into your hands, into the 2nd slot, and it will quad pack-a-punch it. When you open your menu, you'll see that the wonder weapon is in the 2nd slot, and the weapon that was there will be returned to you when you leave the game, and it will not be on cooldown. It will still be available. From here, you can use a crystal to pack-a-punch this wonder weapon, or throw it into the machine, whatever you want to do. The VR11 is such a beast quad pack-a-punch, and the one I recommend doing out of all the wonder weapons. Right here, you can see it's a 2-shot on the Mega Abominations. It will also absolutely melt the red worm, and the only bad thing about this is that you can't take quad pack-a-punch weapons into any of the Dark Ethers. Once you teleport into the Dark Ether, the game is like, I don't know what kind of weapon this is, it's not a regular weapon, and the game will take it from you. The next glitch that still works is the underwater bike god mode glitch. If you can find a high enough point to ramp off of and dive into the water while being on the blood burner, you can dive underwater and then drive underwater, and then also not drowned, and you can be safe. Like if you have to go to the bathroom or something, you can just sit here and chill. Another glitch that's handy that they have not patched is the Excavator AFK spot. Now this works with any excavator around the map, but the best one here is in tier 3. The zombies will pile up here, and yeah, this is a great spot to level up, get any challenges met, or if you need to go do something, working and you need to be safe. The next one is also an AFK location on one of the spots in tier 3. I've never posted this one before. People may know about this, but we used to have a lot of roofs and high places we could go to where zombies wouldn't mess with us in tier 3. They've patched absolutely all of those locations, but this spot here is working. This one you are completely safe from zombies, any of them throwing meat at you. Like, there's no way they can get to you whatsoever. And the way you get to this roof is there's a building next to it that you climb a ladder and then you jump over. This whole roof is relatively safe, but you will get meated, and the way that you avoid the meat is just jump over here and stand in this corner under the roof. Nothing can hit you here. This building has no ladders accessible to the roof, so there's no way zombies can path up onto it. Also, there's a building next to it that seems to be safe as well, but you might get meat thrown at you. This is also a great location if you're trying to fight the mega abomination that spawns right below this building. Also, I am up here and there was a zombie right there and it wasn't throwing any meat at me, so you might be completely safe. The next glitch that still works and is great and they've never patched is the Outlast Unlimited Spawns glitch. You just start this contract up, and when it gets to about 93 to 95%, you cancel the contract. And as long as you don't leave the building and go like 2 blocks away, the zombie spawns will stay at a high rate. It thinks that the contract is still running and it will throw a ton of zombies at you. And with the contract canceled, you don't have to worry about the progression bar and trying to move in and out of the perimeter to keep it from completing. This next glitch is my favorite. They've never patched it, thank goodness, and it's the one I use every game. This is how you keep your ether blades and containment levels. Ether blades are vital to surviving in this mode, and they don't let you keep them when you leave, and it's got a 2-day cooldown when you craft it. This glitch allows you to bypass having to craft them, and you just keep the same blade on you through all your games when you leave and come back. For this one, I like to use the bad signal because it's faster. You can use the story mission exfil choppers, but just make sure you are solo. If you're with a squad, you need to leave your team and make sure you are by yourself, and then you want to interact with this portal. Once you interact with it, you need to vote yes so that you go through the portal. And what I do is I jump in the water and I swim around to the other side of this barrier so that zombies don't throw meat at me or attack me, and you're completely safe to mess with your menus. The zombies are really volatile in this area, so it's important that you're safe so that you can get your timing right. And once you vote yes, you want to open up your menus and get ready to close app when you see the teleportation screen. I just hover over close game, and as soon as I see the teleportation screen, I hit that, and that will save my ether blades and also my containment levels. The next thing I want to show you is a cool trick you can do with the Scorcher, and shout out to Camizdabomb, he showed me this. This trick is great to use when you're trying to feed souls into this triangulation area in tier 3. You have to shoot those 3 symbols and then get into a spot that lines up that triangle. A circle will appear around you, and then you have to feed souls to that orb. And a great trick for just standing here and doing that is if you have a Scorcher and it's pack-a-punch to tier 3, you just look all the way down at the ground and do a full charge shot, and it will kill everything around you, and it will help protect your teammates as well. And this is great because whenever you are trying to feed these souls, you need the zombies to be within this circle. So this helps to just kill those zombies that are in the circle and nothing outside of it. The plasma laser beams have a pretty good radius, and you can see how the zombies are just melting and dying instantly when they get close to them. And yes, you could shoot the lasers like straight across, right? But you risk killing some of the zombies that have not gotten that purple glow on them and that would count towards the orb. And yeah, this is a really easy method. You can keep those charge shots going. That Scorcher cools down in time for you to do another one, and just keep this going until the orb is filled. Feeding these orbs is standard practice for me and my team. We do this before we leave the match because it always gives you a tier 3 pack-a-punch crystal, which is worth 30 essence and 1 legendary tool. So we just do like 1 or 2 of these triangles and stack up on these tools and crystals and bring them in next game. This has been one of the best additions to this mode because getting these legendary tools and these crystals is huge for people that don't want to do Tombstone. Last thing I'm going to update you on is something they just added to Season 3 Reloaded, and we now have the ability to cool down our schematics with the amount of essence that we exfil with. Now there might be a different calculation to this, but it seems like it's about 15,000 essence to remove 1 hour of schematic cooldown. And there might be a more exact number instead of 15,000, but that seems like what it is. If you guys know something different, definitely comment down below. So if it's about 15,000 essence to get 1 hour of cooldown removed, then if if you exfilled with the maximum amount of money, which is almost 1,000,000 essence, that would equal 2.75 days cooldown removed, or 66.6 hours. Now I'll go into the menus and show you what this looks like. So for the classified schematics, all of these are 2 days to cool down. So you'd have to exfil with 720,000 essence. For the wonder weapon category, all of those are also a 2-day cooldown. So that's also 720,000. For the ammo mods, that is a 3-hour cooldown. So that's 45,000 essence. And same for the perks. That's a 3-hour cooldown. So again, 45,000 essence. Then for the schematic that has the longest cooldown, that's the Flawless Ethereum Crystal. That is a 3-tier Pack-a-Punch, and that is a 3-day cooldown, which would be 1.08 million. I guess this system would be good for like the cooldown on your ether blades or legendary armor, but for anything else, you're getting a lot of this stuff in-game for free. Again, hopefully these calculations are pretty close to correct. If they're not, message down below. I'll pin your comment if it's totally wrong. Hope you guys enjoyed this, and we'll see you next video.